Oh, bit of an interesting morning. This is the first day Sim Baby did not want to go to school, and that was not fun. But I got her there with patience, not yelling or anything like that. So I'm very proud of myself. It was incredibly difficult. I do think it's good for her to go, so I'm happy she's there. And they've already sent me pictures of her having fun. I suspect she's forgotten all about it. Hey, good morning, Tommy. It's good to see you, buddy. That guy where I got his buddy didn't get out with my gun. They had a rough day, which makes me happy. Let's get back out there. Any armored rigs left? This one's pretty beat up, but it'll protect me from scavs, which is kind of all I need. I do need some ammo in this thing. It's probably enough, but I don't think it's really a good idea to, like, risk that. And I have been pretty happy bringing food lately. I probably don't need it for the first run. We'll bring us a little grenade, though. How y'all doing? Kind of got to decide where I want to go, too. This is good enough for a first raid. I think I've only got one left on Shoreline. Maybe we just finish that. No, I've got two left on Shoreline. Let's finish it. How did you guys handle taking the little one to school, preschool, daycare, kindergarten? I think you guys call it kindergarten. When she was little and didn't want to go. This is the first day Tracy was like, no, want to stay home, play with puzzles. I was like, it broke my heart. Insufferable neighbors. I kind of want to know what insufferable neighbors are like in Finland. I mean, that's kind of what I did. Tell me what an insufferable neighbor is like in Finland. And then I'll tell you about an insufferable neighbor in North Carolina who will probably never forget me. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry, dude. I thought it was going to be something minor because Finland sounds so awesome. All right. My story is 20 years ago. So you got to remember I'm 26, not 46 at the time. And it was a little bit of a different world. But lived in a house, and the neighbors were having a party. And like I could smell the weed, which is technically illegal, but I don't care. But like I could smell the weed. They're out there drinking beer. There's probably 20 people at a single family house on a screened-in porch, and they're making a lot of noise, and they have their stereo up pretty loud. So I went over there at 11 p.m. and asked them if they could quiet down. There were two kids in the house that were trying to sleep and having trouble because they were that loud. And they told me to myself. So I called the cops, and the cops finally got there about midnight, and it got quiet for a minute, but as soon as the cops left, it cranked up again. We eventually went to sleep. I had to get up at 6 in the morning for work. So I took a peek outside, and all of them, well, not all of them, at least 10 people were asleep on that screened-in porch. Now, 20 years ago, you didn't listen to heavy metal on your phone or your computer speakers. You had a stereo. So I got the stereo speakers at about 5:30 a.m., and they were huge. They were as tall as I am. They're about 5 feet tall. Set both of them on the porch facing their screened-in porch, so it was about 6 feet away. Turned it as loud as it would go and let them hear Symphony of Destruction. And I have never seen people look so confused or afraid or terrified. They all just woke up and ran inside screaming. And I let it play the whole song and moved it all back inside. And that was the last time they bothered me. They have sent me a picture of the little one. I'm pretty sure it was Symphony of Destruction. Oh, she just looks a little unhappy. Poor little bean. She skipped naps the last 2 days as well. I gotta go kill some people. I hope my baby's okay. I'm gonna call the HOA on you neighbors are the literal worst. Just garbage humans. I think I'd like to overlook the whole area here. We're hunting wabbits indeed, sir. Good morning. Morning, Darmist. Hello, John. It's not super common for people to roll through this area. So I don't know if we stay here the whole raid. It's kind of a decent spot to catch people running down from the resort. I still need 2 more kills. Might have been at the gas station. Or even cottages. Yeah. I know I'm a dirty camper. Send Partisan after me. There's a bunch of low-level quests that have you run through the swamp, but like this wipe's about done. I doubt anybody's still working on them. There's going to be action at the resort. I mean, it feels weird to just sit here and camp this extract, but I can leave on it. It is the extract people take most. So I kind of think that's what we're doing. There's people that will take the path to my left, and we just kind of have to let them go. What's the board game called? I think it's a fun enough concept that it could be in a board game. Space extraction boss battler game. That could be fun. Hey, what's up, freaky boy? All good. All good. The day has had its challenges, but that does not make it unlike any other day. All right, so it kind of is Tarkov. What are they doing? Got a decent view of this hill, but that's about it from here. I guess I can see the UAV too, but nobody's doing that quest. Be a hell of a shot too. Basically just fishing for lazy players. Let's see if there's a little bit better position I could take. It's more exposed, but has a better field of view. Got some issues with looking over that rock. I feel like if somebody's looking and sees me, I'm dead here, but otherwise I've got a good field of view. Makes me not want to be scoped in the entire time so that I can be on the lookout for movement and muzzle flashes. Doing better about being patient. Sean correctly called out that was the reason for most of my deaths. If you're going to try to snipe people, this is kind of how you have to do it. Unless you have the skill to just run out there and push everything, and I don't. Got an email about a new game called Xville, which looks like it's, I mean, mostly BattleBit with really good graphics. It's another one of those games that looks like it would be fun to play with friends, but like, if a game isn't fun to play with your friends, it's just stupid, right? Like anything's fun to do with your friends if they're your friends. You can see a little bit of the cottages from here. There's stuff going on at the cottages. So I could try to push around to that rock to snipe into it. Or I could wait and see if they try to extract this way when they're done. I don't think I have time to get into a good position. So we're going to hang out for a minute. Yeah, you also got to have friends. So there's another mark against it. Make them out of paper mache and there you go. I kind of want to go look. If I can get repositioned up to that hill, I might be able to snipe somebody. If the fight's still going on, that means there's something to snipe. Unless I'm mistaken, this hill has your best vantage point. Nope, trees. Okay, that is definitely in the villages. Or cottages, I believe people call this part. Pretty exposed to the left. Let's try to reposition so that I'm not so exposed to the left. Just can't see much in there. It's a scav. If there's scavs still there, it might mean they killed the players. These smuggler scavs are a little cracked. I'll go check it out. We could use a little bit of loot, and I am on the quest to get their stuff. Sounds good, Frika. Shouldn't have pushed it. You always think this one's going to be different. It never is. Not being patient enough got me killed again. Oh, welcome to freaking Tarkov, man. Killed me with an ump. Oh, lordy. I knew there were scavs still in there. We didn't need to push it, but it did. And I paid the ultimate price. All right, let's clear out clear out this backpack. At least it's kind of in the way. Gotta buy a bunch more gear, and I don't wanna. Let's go get us a bolt action rifle. I like DVLs and they're pretty cheap. Is that one busted? No. Let's use it. Yeah, this will work. I am going to need some food and water for this run. So let's grab that real quick too. Visions, foods. I have been bringing the Tarkir meat because you can usually get it pretty cheap. For drinks, the emergency water rations are usually, this is dirt cheap too, sold. All right. I'm starting to run out of grenades as well, but I can just buy more. With more face covering, fine. I think I'm going to do it again because I want to get it through my head that you have to be patient. And I just seem to be having a lot of trouble with that. I mean, I think I sort of understand why, right? Like, it's a frustrating day. I wanted to punch a hole in the wall at a certain point. It was like, you have to stay calm. You have to be cool. I think maybe the challenge for me is being present in what I'm doing. Not thinking about, man, I wish I could stream when I'm watching the baby, and not, man, I'll miss the baby when I'm streaming. That used to happen some when I was in sales, and I would kind of mentally compartmentalize it. That may be what I need to do again. A little chilly. I'm gonna get a jacket. That'll help me with my ambush setting. We're not camping. We're setting ambushes. Camping is a scummy way to play video games. Setting up ambushes, well, now that's just good military tactics. Okay. I see pictures of her at school being happy. School is good for kids. Anybody here like watch their kids right up until kindergarten? Like did the full stay-at-home parent thing with no preschool? I think I would have gone insane. And I love that kid. It's like school's been at least as good for me as it has been for her. She does talk about her friends though. It's so weird to make her go on a day where she says she doesn't want to, when every other day she's been like, you want to go to school, you want to go to school. She still hasn't figured out how pronouns work. So whenever she wants something, she says, you want it. All right. We're calm, we're cool, we're collected. We are the shooter born in heaven. Up here, you can sometimes catch people running to resort. Slash have an okay angle on the cottages. The downside is it's a pretty common place to camp, so people will not be surprised to find me here. If somebody's going cottages, we should hear them making noise and be able to reposition to get a better angle on it. You can rotate just a little bit and see power as well. Is it really this windy in Russia? I guess I'm not used to spaces that are this open. I grew up in a very forested area, so when I was outside, there were a bunch of trees to block the wind. So maybe it's just this windy everywhere. We are being patient. Look at me being patient. This is a nice scope. I'd been using the 6X, but this one's pretty good. Even though it only goes to 4. I don't know, it just feels comfortable. I think I like the reticle. If somebody was going power, I'd hear them, so I don't have to go look. I keep being tempted to go move, and I think that's the part that's messing me up, is I really need to just stay put for the whole freaking raid and try to catch people running out. It is unlikely I could hit somebody up in the trees. Almost looked like I saw somebody there, but it might have just been the trees. It's okay, we got time. There's no rush. Very much hunting wabbits. Some people will run down this area to get towards the path to shoreline to extract. Going late to cottages is a thing people do to see if somebody opened up doors for quests. There's smuggler scavs that can spawn here or at power. Maybe even at the bus station? This quest would be a lot easier to do with the snow. Okay, that sounds like power. We're going to adjust. Take a quick peek. That's at me. Means for now we're going to get back over here. But I've not forgotten about it. I think of where they could have been shooting me from. Keep an eye down here too, but nobody really ever runs down this area. Someone's either killed the sniper scavs or they didn't spawn because there's people there. Really looks like a scav. But I think it might have been a player. Them looking back. Scavs don't do that. Because it could have been a player scav. Didn't quite see where it was going down, but somewhere to my right. A player or player scav must be done. And that is not a good spot. Got no clearance at all. No way that dude's still in there. Okay, so we didn't get that one. That's okay. They're not the only player in the world. If anybody crosses here, I have a really good view of them. Those are scavs. Which means I don't have to watch that. Wish I knew where that airdrop went. It's a gas station over there. Why aren't the sniper scavs there then? And who the heck shot at me earlier? So many unanswered questions. Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries. Like it might be time to bail and reset. And that's an okay outcome too. Scav bros are still in there doing scav things. Trying to remember what my push to talk key is. It seemed like somebody was shooting at me again. Somebody's trying to bop those scavs. Well, where'd you go? As soon as I left, somebody popped up over there. Hey, what's up, Orcish? Man, I am learning some lessons on Tarkov today. Humility being the big one, but that is a lesson I needed to learn. Good Lord. Just dying to all the scavs. Don't fire a shot. Don't do nothing. Just get wrecked. All right. Let's go do it again. I mean, part of the problem is I'm trying to do a quest that revolves around seeing a bunch of other players at a time of day where there's not a lot of people playing Tarkov. Another one is I have to be incredibly patient. And I'm still struggling to identify when someone shoots at you, it means reposition. Even if you think it's a scav, you have to reposition. You got to go. You got to go. This one's even got rings, but no stock. All right. That's all right. Need to buy a helmet and an earpiece. Well, that's all right. We've got everything else that we need. Even plenty of snacks. All right, helmet and earpiece. I can get a good helmet from Ref. Earpiece from Ragman. I have matches to trade? No, it's okay. And I am going to need some armor as well. Yeah, we're out of that. You know what? That's what Ref is for as well. I think this is class 4. Yeah, it's not a bad armor. It's not a great armor, but it'll do. All right, again, with patience. I mean, I was going to say there's as many kinds of ammunition in this game as there is in real life, but that's not true. There's probably 6 to 10 different types of ammunition for each rifle. And they go on a scale from high penetration, low damage to low penetration, high damage. Generally, the higher penetration stuff is better. Unless you're going to try to do something like shoot people in the legs or arms until they die. Or if you're just hunting scavs, they're typically not as well armored. But sometimes people will take the high damage ammo to go hunt scavs. That's part of the thing that draws it to me. I've recognized as I've basically explored the concept that it's possible that I'm on the spectrum, that I have a special interest in firearms. I still kind of don't think we should just be running around with them. Like, I don't want to own them. I'm just interested in them, which is kind of weird, but here we are. Do you have a special interest, Orcish? You can figure out pretty quickly which one does which. Like I don't think this is your game, but that took me a minute too until I realized prior to this patch, you had to go look it up. This patch, you can click on the ammo and it'll tell you the damage and penetration. So you can decide what ammo you want to use depending on what you're going to go do. Science fiction movies, chipmunks. Like the Animals chipmunks or Alvin and the Chipmunks. And let's talk sci-fi. If you're a sci-fi. Hey, I'm sick of people complimenting me on my Zelda shirt. What's wrong with you nerds? This is obviously not Zelda. But so many people, when they see me in this, are like, oh, nice Zelda shirt, dude. That's cool. Yes, it's Dark Angels. Uh-oh. We've had an error. It would appear we've crashed. See, Ravis gets it. How you doing, bud? Fair enough. I'm quasi-watching, too. You're getting shot in the head over and over and over and over and over for being in dumb positions. I wanted to do this quest on purpose because I knew it was going to be difficult for me. And it was. And I'm going to learn things about Tarkov that I wouldn't have learned otherwise. I want to make another gun modding video, too. I want to do one for the bears. Yeah, I'm just getting to the end of the second audiobook in that series. It is so good. But I really like everything Turtle Dove has done. Like, he's definitively my favorite author. And I was like initially confused as to why this series hadn't been turned into a movie. I'm like, it's so good. Everyone would love it. And I started telling Sim wife about it a little bit, and she kind of laughed and looked at me and was like, is it supposed to be a comedy? And I was like, okay, not everyone would like it. I mean, this is alt history stuff, but I read the How Few Remain all the way through the Great War. Jake Featherston and the Freedom Party. He wrote some fantasy books called the Vicidius Cycle, which was a Roman legion getting teleported to a fantasy world, which was fantastic. My background with Warhammer was an interesting one. So I was manager of an Electrolux vacuum. Yeah, that was Misplaced Legion. I think that was Misplaced Legion. I think that was the first book in the Vicidios cycle. But maybe it wasn't. Short Warhammer detour. I was manager at an Electrolux in Newbern, and I bought a box of Warhammer Fantasy from Hobby Shop because I thought it looked cool. And I'd had it for about a week when Hurricane Floyd came through and wrecked that area. Oh, wow. I don't know why I never picked that up. Maybe because it's been 20 years since I read it. But that's cool, man. Turtle Dove lovers unite. So all of a sudden, the town where I'm supposed to sell door-to-door vacuums is underwater. And I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do? So I just randomly called the number on the back of the box of Warhammer stuff and said, do you guys have people there who sell things? And the person said, yeah. I said, can I talk to their boss? And 2 weeks later, I moved to Maryland and was working for Games Workshop. So I got introduced to the lore pretty quick. My only introduction was, this looks pretty cool. And I got there for the interview, and the dude took out a hand grenade, pulled the pin, and threw it at me and said, sell this to me. You got 1 minute. I'm going to curse. So if you've got little ears and you're watching on the VOD or something, cover them. But I said, Dan, you like blowing shit up, right? And he fell out laughing. And I knew right then I was hired. And I got into Warhammer from there because I worked for him. But I can't encourage you enough, if you've enjoyed the Turtle Dove series, to listen to the audiobook for the World War series. It's so good. But it is kind of a weird, you need to be into science fiction and alt history. So I'm like recognizing not everybody would dig this. But I've just never read a book by the dude I didn't really love. There's a little bit too much sex scenes in the book for me, which is like in all of his stuff. I don't really want to read about all of that. It's like every 4 chapters, you got to have a sex scene. I'm like, bro, we don't have to do this. I got into orcs first and then chaos. Khorne never really did it for me. I liked Plague Marines. I kind of just made up Semulin for my EverQuest Vashir warrior, because everybody had these complicated names, right? So my character was Semulin Jones. Which I thought was funny. I think I also just really like how good the narrator for this audiobook is. Because there's so many different accents and voices, and he can just do all of them and do them justice. I can't sit down and read a book anymore. I just don't enjoy it. I like listening to the stories. And this is a risk or reward question. Scav. Dude. I forget how loud you are when you're prone. All right, we do it again. Did you see him? Where did you see him? Oh, after he shot? Yeah. Andy. Oh, it's been that kind of day. All right, I'm going to need another sniper rifle. This one doesn't have a tip. I can run it with a Spectre. I don't love this site. I want to get back into the fight as fast as I can. We're gonna be thirsty and hungry. I wish there was a fast equip for food. Looks like I've run through all my food. Unfortunate. This quest is insane. Going again. Shoreline is not going to defeat me. Not today. Ugh. I kind of got stuck when it came to science fiction reading, and that once I got into the 40K series, I didn't really want to stop. There were 2 books about commissars. I should say 2 series about commissars that I really liked. Gaunt's Ghost, I think, is some of the best military science fiction I've ever read. Like, it went through the founding of a regiment to all of the different wars that they participated in and engagements. It really reminded me of Band of Brothers, but for 40K. So, like, that was fantastic. And the other one was the Caiaphas Cain books, which was just kind of as close to a humorous story as you could get in 40K, where basically you're reading the memoirs of a commissar who's plagued by self-doubt and yet still manages to overcome. So it came across as like funny and silly, but it was also just as gritty and dark. It was just about as close to humor as you could get in the 40K universe. So like once I got into those 2 series, for sci-fi, I didn't really want to read much else. I just wanted the next book in that series. Gotta be a lot more careful about making noise. If I'd stayed still, I might could have gotten that player. They probably heard me running around. But again, staying still, being quiet could have done something there. Oh, I'm in the village. Yeah, I'm in the village. Okay, well, there's an interesting spot up here we can camp in for a minute. Because there's a spawn down there. Do you feel like there's a player down there too if I didn't get him with the grenade? I didn't. Is a scav? I did not think it was a scav. Kind of in a jam here. Like anything that was going to happen in this area has probably already happened. Which I think means we move on. I can run through here and maybe try to camp. Path to shoreline. Man, this guy's mad. Now you're getting quiet. Yeah, but what did we win? Oh, Dota! Congratulations. I thought you meant me. I think we're going to camp this extract for a few minutes. And then use it. Man, our eyes are really attenuated, I guess is the word, to look for movement. Yeah, that's how it works. This is going to be our last raid. I need to go get the baby in a little bit. It was good to have a little time to video game, though. Wish I could get one kill in, but I'm not going to push it. Playing safe will make me happier. I got a little tilted, which is why I brought in this L-can. I should have just bought a better scope. Not that this is a bad one, but I like this one on like ARs. Keep thinking I'm hearing stuff too, which don't help. Now I kind of feel like I'm going to pee in my pants. It's an exciting game. Will Travis extract before he pees on himself? It's trees waving in the breeze is making me think all of them are bad guys. All right, I'm going to do it. I'll be right back. Wish me luck. Did y'all see anybody? Streamer of influence. I'd forgotten about that. Thank you for reminding me of that one. Man, I had such high hopes after that Twitch Rivals event. Kind of got a little bit too much of an inflated ego. Gonna try not to do that again. Funny, I wrote Sisu on a post-it card and stuck it on my wall. I still feel like what I should have written was humility. Because I don't think I need to be more stubborn. I got that one covered. All right. It's kind of like fishing. Let's have a beer. What effects does that give you? Less attention, higher stress resistance, and charisma. Seems about right. I think if I do any raids when she's napping today, I might do a different map. Shoreline is being difficult today. I'm not even quite sure what to do if I wanted to do something different. I guess I'd have to head back to my spawn and see if there's anybody trying to use that extract. So we haven't even heard anything in ages. My beer wore off. Yeah, there's going to be players there. It's just a question of what they're doing. Like, I'd imagine a lot of people already got to the resort and did what they were going to do. Because in this map, you're mostly going for the resort. That's like the one big point of interest. Yeah, yeah. So you can have minimum number of players or maximum, right? And I'm guessing we just had a light raid. But I can go somewhere else. And this was not a bad raid. We survived. Well, I say that now. We obviously haven't yet. But I think given the state of the day, we're just going to call it and head out. I'll catch up on some chores. And we'll plan on some streaming this weekend. And be ready to fight again another day. Yes, you're right. You're right. All right. Thank y'all for hanging out. I may be able to sneak in a stream on Thursday. I'm not sure because I've got a doctor's appointment. But assuming that one's nice and easy, we'll come chillax on Thursday. Y'all be cool. Enjoy your sci-fi. I'll see you next time. Adios.